Welcome to What Are You Sporting About podcast, a podcast about business, employment, sports, and entertainment to help educate, support, and guide you to your next level. Here's your host, attorney Sivonnia DeBarros.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sivonnia DeBarros, protector of athletes, and I'm excited today because we have another episode, something that's going to be impactful for you. So definitely make sure you let us know where you are watching or listening from. If you are catching this episode on the replay, still engage with us. But I have to remind you all, make sure you go to your favorite podcasting platform and subscribe so you never miss an episode. So we have Miss Jen Garrett here with us today. She is an amazing author, a business owner, and she's going to impart a lot of knowledge to us today. But before we dive in, I want to just share a little bit more about who I am. If this is your first time coming in contact with this podcast, just want to make sure you know who you are listening to. So guys, look, I've been featured in multiple places like CBS, ABC, WGN9, a host of podcasts. I've been mentioned in Forbes and featured in Authority magazine and other magazine places. So look, you can find me everywhere, and you can always make sure that you're going to find impactful information to get you to your next level in life by coming to the What Are You Sporting About podcast. All right. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce my guest. She is an amazing woman in business. Jen has been internationally recognized as a branding expert and the creator of Move the Ball. It is a whole movement, y'all, now. All right. And that actually extended from her book, Move the Ball. But she currently works with executives and professional athletes on creating powerful brands and using those brands to actually move the ball in business and to attract the opportunities that they want. She also hosts the Move the Ball podcast, has 7 college degrees, is an Army officer, a mom of 5, and is the author of the book, as I said, Move the Ball, but other books called How American Football Can Help You Achieve Your Life Goals and Dominate the Game, How Life Changes When You Show Up. And let me just provide a correction because I believe, Jen, How American Football Can Help You Achieve Your Life Goals and Dominate the Game is that the subtitle for Move the Ball?
No, Move the Ball. The subtitle is How the Game of American Football Can Help You Change Your Life Goals.
Okay, perfect. So we definitely want to be clear on that. Jim, before we dive into some of the deeper conversation today, I do want to ask you something I ask all of my guests who appear. What are you sporting about to you? What does that mean?
Yeah, what you are sporting about to me means like, what is it that you're all about? How do you represent yourself? What excites you? What ignites your soul? That's cliche a little bit, but what are the things that you really want to be doing with your life? What are the things that you want to be known for? How do you want to move the ball when it comes to your business, to your life, to your career?
Good stuff. Good stuff. So I definitely appreciate your take on that. And I want to dive in and talk a little bit more about what you're currently working on and how What Are You Sporting About is starting to take shape or has taken shape in your particular life, whether it be personal and business or a combination thereof.
Yeah, so you mentioned my movement, the Move the Ball movement. And so that's really kind of my thing. So what does that mean? Because that's very broad. So Move the Ball at the broad level and the movement is all about forward motion. So every day I want people to think about, how am I going to move the ball forward every day? We talk about football. I know you do work with professional athletes. I do work with professional athletes and collegiate athletes. A lot of them are in football. And so they say football is a game of inches, right? And so in our life, it's about moving even an inch, a foot, a yard. You score a touchdown. It's just that forward motion every single day. And so that's what the movement is about. It doesn't matter what your past, what's happened in your past. It doesn't matter those circumstances. It's all about the here and now, the today, and what are you going to do to move forward? And then, just making that little progress, incremental movement on a daily basis. From a business standpoint, standpoint, I really work with people on their brands and how do they create and position those brands to attract the opportunities that they want, whether they're a corporate professional trying to get to that next level in their career, whether you're a business owner, how do you position your business's brand and your product and services to drive revenue growth and attract the clients that you want. And then on the athlete side, similar thing, how do you leverage your brand, position it correctly so that you can have opportunities beyond the sport in whatever areas you're interested in.
No, that's awesome. I mean, so you are very knowledgeable around football plays and all of that. And it's amazing because you've been able to use the context of the sport to really help athletes to move forward in their lives in different ways. So have you been working with other individuals who are not or who don't technically have a sports background to take those same concepts and be able to apply them in ways to help them move forward in their life, move forward in their business so they can actually achieve certain levels of success that they ultimately want to have for themselves?
It's a great question. Move the Ball, the book was all about football. The movement evolved, and there's so many people that I work with that they're not sports fans, or some of them have started to learn or want to learn about football because of working with me. But it's really about how do you take the mentality that competitive athletes have, not just football athletes or football players, and how do you apply those principles to be successful beyond the sport into life, into business, into your career to be able to advance and get to where you want to go. So yeah, I do work with a lot of people, not many of them. I mean, there are a lot that know sports. That's most of the clients, but there are people that know nothing about sports, but they just kind of gravitate towards this motion or this notion of moving forward.
So you also are working on another book.
Yes.
Listen, people have said to me before, once you write one, you're going to write more. And I was thinking to myself before, like, that is not true because it has to be so freaking hard to write a book. But I can definitely testify to that. The more you write, when you write one book, it just feels like the floodgates are open and they start to just pour out. So you're currently working on something else. I want you to share with us what that is and what ultimately you're hoping to achieve with that particular work.
Yeah, so you're right. I mean, once you write one book, you're kind of like, oh, I want to write another one. Now, I wrote Move the Ball many years ago, and so it's been a while to get to this next book, which is called Dominate the Game, How Life Changes When You Show Up. And for me, it was, I have this movement about helping people to move the ball forward. How do we build on that? How do we continue to evolve and grow from that concept and give people more in that same vein of helping them to move forward, reach that next level and really dominate, right? Let's not just move it a little bit, let's dominate and go after the things that you want in life. And so the way that book came to be was I was in Tampa. I was at dinner with a friend of mine, Ricky Saylor. He's a sports agent and brand manager. And he was talking about how competitive athletes make good employees because they always show up. They're conditioned to perform, even the days that they don't feel like it, like they know that they have to get out there and do what they need to do. And so when he said that, I was thinking about, well, how am I showing up every day? Am I doing the things that I need to do to perform at the level that I want? And so I thought, that's it. That's what this book is going to be at. How do you suit up with the right mentality and the right preparation to be able to go into every day so that you can show up in a way that's going to help you to move the ball and play big, go after the things that you want. Don't just settle for what life throws at you, but really, really push the boundaries of comfortability, push yourself, and really, just go after whatever it is that you want. I mean, we talked a second ago about how we're both in sports. As women in the sports industry, it's tough, right? And we've worked very, very hard to grow our brands, to establish ourselves as authorities and to grow those brands. How do we do that? It's by showing up the right way and doing the right things to be able to grow and excel in our businesses and our brands.
Ooh, girl, that's a whole mouthful. And I think especially those questions to really make people start thinking about really how am I showing up? Because sometimes we will blame other people or circumstances, but sometimes there is that innate ability for us to get in front of certain situations or to just not give up, right? One of the things that you mentioned is that a company prefers to hire athletes because they are conditioned to show up. Like some people, that might not be their problem in showing up, but then once you get there, what are you doing to make sure that you are properly positioned and prepared for what it is that you will be doing. It means that we have to sometimes look intrinsically to make sure that we're taking care of who we are too as people, and understand, okay, what can stop me from being able to fully accept criticism, for example, or be able to change something that I've already done. We know that sometimes people have issues with having to approach change. So if you're in a company or industry that is always changing and always evolving, what are you doing for yourself to make sure that you are properly aligned for where you are, but also where you want to go? What are you absolutely doing to make sure that you can get to that next level? And so before we transition, because I love what you said, before you transition, guys, I have a quick little note that I want to share with you guys, because we wrapped up the NIL Combine last month at the end of July. And, we had some of these conversations around really showing up and being authentically you in the spaces that you are in, so that you can build the success that you want. And so I want to share a small clip with you guys in terms of helping you to get the resources that are available for you. So you can get the all access pass now for the NIL Combine by going to bit.ly/NIL Combine -all access. Make sure you put that in all caps, and we will be right back. Hey guys, I'm Sivonnia DeBarros, protector of athletes. And guess what? We have wrapped up the first annual NIL Combine, live and virtual, to educate, support, and motivate athletes. Listen, whether you attended and missed sessions or you didn't, guess what? You can still be in the room. You can get all of this amazing information to help you retain more knowledge, shore up your knowledge, and take the proper steps so you can get from point A to point Z. Look, all of us want to be successful, right? We want to create sustainable wealth. We want to make sure that we are building legacies out here with our name, image, and likeness. So you can do that with the NIL Combine All Access Pass. All you got to do is go to bit.ly/NIL Combine -all access. Make sure you put that in all caps. bit.ly/all caps NIL Combine -all access. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Our experts came, they dropped it, okay? They did their thing, and the knowledge is there. All you have to do is take action. Go ahead, get your all access pass right now. All right, guys. So we are back. So Jen, let's get to it. One of the things I love to ask my guests is about resilience. We all see resilience in having to overcome these traumatic issues, right? And I do believe that's part of one of the types of resilience. But even in moving the ball, which is part of your brand, part of what you talked about in terms of showing up, being able to be in the right mindset to mentally be able to, I guess, get in front of certain issues that might show up. We all have to have a certain level of resilience that is built into us. So I want to know from you, like, what are some of the things that you've dealt with from a professional standpoint that has helped you to build social and professional types of resilience? Because you're always in different rooms that I've seen. It's not easy to sometimes be a woman in certain rooms, right? You're also part of the Army culture. That's different. That is completely different. And you're in the sports space. You talk a lot to male athletes, right? And you're showing up as a woman in business, a woman in sports. What are some of the things that you've had to go through to build or cultivate the certain level of resilience that you currently have that has helped you to be successful?
Great question. So the first I would say is learning how to deal with rejection. No matter what space you're in, you're going to come across people that are not going to see your value, your worth, that aren't going to be interested in what you bring to the table. And that's okay. And understanding that that's okay, not taking that personally, and learning how do you move on as a result of that interaction, right? You learn from those. When you understand that not everyone is meant to be on the journey with you, it's easier for you to kind of focus on the next play, as athletes like to say, right, and continue to move forward. So I would say that's the big thing, because when you start something, you're excited. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to share, my business, or I want to connect with people. And you should do that. You should put yourself out there, but understand not everyone is going to want to be in a relationship with you, whether it's a business, professional, right? And that's just how it is. And you just got to find the right people that want to be in your circle, on the journey, do business with you, etc. So I think that's one thing, is learning how to deal with that in a manner that you can pick yourself back up quickly and keep moving forward and don't remain stuck there. The second is really just knowing your purpose and the value that you bring to the table and being firm in that. So not compromising that. There's a difference between being flexible in your offerings to your client and being willing to uncompromise who you are and your authentic self to land a deal, right? Don't do that. Don't sell your soul. Don't chase. That's another thing. When I first started going into sports, I was chasing. I wanted anybody and everybody that I could get that would listen to what I had to say, right? If someone's not interested, and when you walk with confidence and with purpose, you're going to attract the people that want to hear what you have to say. And I'll just say, in sports, when I was chasing, there were a lot less people that were willing to hear me because they're so used to everybody chasing them. Right. But when you show up and you conduct yourself with confidence and purpose, it's different, because now, I'll approach myself, if someone's not interested in having a conversation. Okay, thank you for your time. Right. And you move on. And that catches people off guard, too, because they're so used to being chased. So I think, how you come across and present yourself as a professional, when you do it with confidence and with conviction, you'll see the right people wanting to come towards you. So I think that's another thing. I think knowing how to build genuine relationships and network the right way. I know you know this, so there are so many people that get this wrong, right? They just network with people because they have this, what can you do for me today mentality. It's not because they're trying to build authentic relationships. And so when you master how to network effectively and properly, that's when the magic happens, because it's about serving others. And sometimes that comes back and they help you too, but it's not about you in the beginning. And so learning that is important as well. So I would say those are some of the things that have helped me. And then also staying connected to your purpose, right? Like, why is it that you're doing what you're doing? Because you will face rejection. Things will not go as planned. Life is hard. Life is harsh. It can be hurtful. It can be heartbreaking, right? And so you have to learn that life will test you. And so you just have to remember why. Stay connected to why you're doing what you're doing. And it's going to help you to continue to pick yourself back up when you get knocked down, and to help you to move forward.
I love that. All of this is great. Absolutely great. The last piece is especially the reason why I wrote What Are You Sporting About? Obviously, we see so many athletes, and we can say business owners, and sometimes it takes on the shape or form of parents, specifically moms, who sometimes put their dreams and their purpose to the side for the people that they love, right? So we see it play out in so many different ways and so many different forms. But when you are able to stay connected to your purpose, you're able to move much further in life. Because when you don't, think about the repercussions of that. Normally, it's you waking up one day and like, what the heck just happened? Like, where have the last 10 years, 15 years, 30 years for some people, what has happened? And so part of the What Are You Sporting About has been to help athletes to recognize that you were a dreamer once. And it's okay to be able to dream again. And it's okay to actually go after the things that you wanted before it was all muddled by someone else's ideas of what you are, who you are, what you should be doing. So these tips have been absolutely amazing. I do want to engage you a little bit more, because I love the fact that you use a lot of sports types of abbreviations and verbiage. And so one of the questions that I've asked previous guests before is about their particular success, and what has gotten them to their levels of success. So basically, I call this the 4 downs of success, right? So to use that football analogy, what would you consider to be the 4 downs of your success? It could be a person, a particular events that have happened that have catapulted you into certain levels of your professional success, but please do share.
Yes, I mean, the first one I would say, which is it's about showing up, right? We've talked about this throughout this chat. It's every day showing up and putting yourself out there. I was on a Zoom call yesterday and somebody said, oh, I got to think about what he said. He said, it was, oh, he said it really good too. And I can't think of it, but it was basically like, if you're not there, you can't be found. And so think about that, right? Like if you don't show up and you're not there for people to know who you are, then you can't be found, you can't connect. Like we all know that you're that one connection away from something amazing happening, right? So if you don't put yourself out there, how can that person or that relationship happen? And so, or that event, right? And so I think that's the first thing is you just have to show up every single day. The other thing that's important, and I talk about this in the Dominate Your Game book, is you need to manage your game clock. So we all have 1,440 minutes every single day. How are you using your time? So many people look at their calendar and it's filled from 8 o'clock to 5, meeting, meeting, meeting. That doesn't mean you're being productive. That doesn't mean you're doing anything that helps the real priorities that you're trying to get done. That just means you filled your calendar. So when you look at what's on your calendar, are those the right things that you should be doing? So you need to really manage your time on a day-to-day basis. You mentioned when you introduced me, I have 5 kids, right? 7 degrees, I'm an entrepreneur, I have podcasts. Podcasts are a lot of work, as you know. And so people
I cannot complain anymore, Jen.
People will say, do you have 27 hours in a day or do you sleep? And I'm like, yeah, I do sleep. No, I don't have 27 hours, but it's about how you choose to intentionally spend that time. And that I'll say we'll go to the third down, which is about saying no. Saying no to the things that don't serve a purpose for you, for the priorities you are working on today. Meaning there might be things that are of interest to you, but that doesn't align with what your focus is on for today. Maybe that's what you're going to work on tomorrow or next week or next month. Then say yes to it then, right? Use the time that you have today on the things that you need to get done today. And so saying no to tasks, to people. I mean, I know you have people that reach out to you probably all the time, right? Oh, hey, we should chat. And a lot of time they just want to bounce some idea off you, but it doesn't necessarily make sense for your business or your brand, right? So it can be tempting for people to always say yes to those opportunities, but you need to look at what cost. If I say yes to this, it's going to take time away from what things, and am I willing to sacrifice those other things by saying yes to this? So I think that's very important to practice the power of no, as I say often. And then the last one I say is your circle, your tribe, right? Who you surround yourself with matters, and making sure you have the right people in your corner. So those should be people that are not just cheerleaders and positive people. That's important. We need those, but you need to align yourself with people that have walked in the shoes that you want to walk in so that they can share their experiences. You want people around you that are more successful, that are smarter than you, that have done things that you haven't done, so you can learn from their experiences so that you can accelerate your learning, accelerate your progress, and elevate more quickly.
That is so good. And also recognize the fact that sometimes you might have to pay for people who are smarter than you. Yes. But you know what? You really collapse time on the growth, on the business growth. I've done it through the years, and I've increasingly have spent more money because, the more you're seeking someone to get you to a different point of your business, it's going to require a bigger investment of you. And sometimes I'm not even talking about money, it's just going to require something bigger. And so if you are dreaming something bigger, you're going to have to technically put your time or your money where your mouth is, period. So I absolutely love that. Guys, don't forget Jen's 4 downs. This is amazing. To sum it up, show up, manage your game clock, say no, and be cognizant about who's on or in your tribe. Sometimes I think we clutter ourselves and our circle with people who we either want to show favor to for some reason or another, or we just keep them around because they've been our friend or relative or whatever for how long. But is it serving you? Is it serving you? And so I truly believe that sometimes people can take away so many things from us. I had a guy on the podcast before and he talked about like vampires, energy suckers, right? And
Mhm.
so, and I recently talked about how sometimes athletes move away from their true nature of dreaming and their true nature of purpose because there are other people that have imparted these ideologies in them and have come to reshape who that person is by, informing, oh, hey, you should be doing this, or you should do that, or this is all of that stuff. Sometimes can, if you're in the right mindset, you'll be able to discern that maybe this person shouldn't be in my tribe. Not to confuse that with someone who is just going to call you out and really make you think critically about the decisions that you're making, but recognize, am I surrounding myself around people who want to change the authentic me that may not be what you need or what you want. So that is so good. I really loved what you shared today. I want to ask about like what your next steps are. Who are you trying to reach out to? Who are you trying to serve? Because I would love to keep tabs on what you got going on, and of course share it with our community.
Yeah, so for me, it's really continuing to further the Move the Ball movement. I have this Dominate the Game book that's coming out on November 11th. So I'm super excited. We're almost across the goal line there. And for me, I really enjoy connecting with people that are serious about how do I take my career, my business to the next level, and how can I position my brand? Like, I'm a strategy person. I'm not a content manager. I'm not going to be posting your post for you. It's about strategically, how do you create a brand that's going to connect with who you're looking to serve, and then what are the things you should be doing to attract the clientele? Or if you're a corporate person, how do you position your background? We all have great experiences. It's a matter of how you package it in a brand that's going to position yourself to get those opportunities. I like to say that being able to move the ball is about differentiation and separation. Differentiation in terms of, are you positioning yourself in a manner that sets you apart from the competition, from others out there that are looking for those opportunities as well? Separation is, are you doing the things that other people are not doing so that you can attract the opportunities? And so, those are the people that I like to work with. You talked about how sometimes we have to pay. It is an investment. I'm a business owner, you're a business owner, but it's about how we can help people to accelerate their progress, right? And to get to where they want to go sooner. So that's who I'm looking to serve. I hope people will check out the Move the Ball book, check out the Dominate the Game book when it's out. And I know there's a lot of wisdom in there. And if you enjoy sports, you'll enjoy them even more, because there's a lot of sports examples in those books as well.
Where is your new book coming up? Is it on pre-orders yet?
I have a website, so I'm doing signed pre-orders. You can go to dominateandmove.com and you can pre-order your book. You can also get Move the Ball there as well. If you do it as a combo pack, you get a discounted price too. But also what I'm doing for pre-order is I created this 30-day planner. It's called The Daily Hustle, my 30-day playbook to win. And so you will get a copy of that free with your pre-order.
Good. So guys, you can go to dominateandmove.com. Is that the right website I put in there? Okay. So you can get both books. You can get a pre-order signed book, and you can purchase the Move the Ball book on the same website, but you get a free 30-day planner with the book. So make sure you check out Jen's website, dominateandmove.com. If you need support, definitely make sure that you reach out, get the support that you guys need. Listen, I am a strong, I feel like I can't talk today. I am a strong believer in making sure I get the resources that I know I need. And sometimes when I become aware of a resource that could support me, I'm making sure I put myself in a position to get it. So if you know this is for you, you need to be able to move the ball, as you say. You want to dominate in your particular industry and field. Go ahead and get your book right now at dominateandmove.com. Jen, where can people connect with you at?
I've got a website called getinsidethehuddle.com. You'll notice all the sports references here. And I mean, if you just search the hashtag Move the Ball on Google, Google has done a phenomenal job of putting me on the top of their search list, and I haven't paid for ads. So somehow I must be doing something right. But if you just search Move the Ball on any social platform, you should find me. Or you can go to my website, getinsidethehuddle.com. And then my contact info is there. You can reach out to me there as well.
That is amazing. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. And guys, we're talking about references and resources and all of this. I want to remind you, make sure you get your all access pass now available for the former NIL Combine event that we had this past July. You can get access to that right now by going to bit.ly/NIL Combine-all access. Again, I am your host, Sivonnia DeBarros, and the protector of athletes. It is always my pleasure and honor to educate, motivate, and support you to your very next level. Until next time, guys, I will check you later. Bye.
This week on What Are You Sporting About podcast. Make sure to visit our website, prosportlawyer.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or whatever your favorite platform is, so you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, if you found value in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes or iHeartRadio. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. If you like the show, you might want to check out our book, What Are You Sporting About? Attorney Sivonnia DeBarros is available for private consulting at sldebarros.com. And remember, we're here to educate, support, and guide you in your journey to success, because we're all sporting about something.